Danica Patrick is back in store for another busy season, IndyCar, and of course the Nationwide Series. But what did you do in the off season to make sure that you're ready for this massive assault you're doing again?
Well, actually, I had quite a bit of time off. The season started later, and since I didn't do since there's no ARCA race this year, that was another week off. So I don't know. I actually, when Christmas came and New Year's came, and I thought, oh man, here we go again. And all of a sudden, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be back on track. And all of a sudden, I had a couple of weeks off, and it was like the longest stretch of time I've had off in years and years. So I relaxed. My husband and I, we just enjoyed ourselves and caught up with our friends and kind of had a real life for a little while. And so I'm feeling ready to go for the year.
How much time did you get on track to get ready for what you're going to do in the Nationwide Series this season?
A lot less testing days than last year in preparation for the season, because I had never been in the car last year. So while yes, last year I did maybe 3 different tests before the season started, and then also the ARCA race, which included a test at Daytona in December. We've only done 1 test day, so I think that ending the season in the end of November. I mean, I was only in a car a couple of months ago if I waited all the way until the beginning of the season. So I think that there's a lot less to worry about getting going for this year, since I fit in the car and I can reach the switches now because we've fitted me, and there's none of those little issues. So so a lot less testing this year.
Because you have, though, at least some level of comfort, how do you feel going into this part of the season this year compared to last year?
I'm still nervous from the standpoint that I want to do well, and I know it's hard, and I know there's a lot of good drivers, but I feel at least like if I can figure out how to get the car fast and give the right feedback to Tony Jr., that we can make progress with it, and then I'll be much more prepared to deal with a good situation in the race. Where last year I didn't know a good car from a bad car probably. We had some good weekends, but then we had some bad ones too. So I think I'm much more ready to capitalize this year than last year.
So what do you want to achieve this year for you to look back and say, yep, I'm good?
Well, I mean, last year it was to get into the top 15, and that didn't happen. So I guess I got to keep that same expectation level and then go from there. But I had a great qualifying in the last race, qualifying 5th, and that was something that I had really struggled with. So I think there was a progress made there, and then just get into that top 15, and then I guess ask me again after that.
Well, you did come close. You
did
finish the top 19.
Yeah. Well, the last race was the best finish, but what's tough is that, the results I feel didn't completely show how good we were some weekends. And, Fontana was a perfect example going back the second time, and I felt really good about the car at the end of the race, and then, with the crash with 7 or 8 laps to go, and I really felt like it was a good opportunity for a top 10 there, and obviously couldn't finish through on that. I think Vegas at the beginning of the year was good. The car we were running with finished 11th, I think, in the race, so, if we could have just stayed out there, we were hopefully going to finish better than that. And I think that Texas was another example of a race where I was pretty fast and I could kind of run the leader's pace not too bad, although I was 2 laps down from having to pit for a cut tire. There was a lot of things that got in the way of good results, but it always seemed to be that if I was having a good car, I'd have a bad result, and if I had a not so great day, not so great car, I'd go out there and nothing happened to me. I just finished, and that was the result.
But this season, you talk about comfort and going back to tracks that you were at before. You do have a couple of tracks on the schedule this year that you've never been at, like Bristol. You've been to Richmond, though, in an Indy car. Why are you looking forward to maybe those races, and what are you hoping to learn there?
It's always good to go to a track that I haven't been to just for the experience of it. Stepping outside your comfort zone always helps you, so I guess that's something to look forward to with a new track. Bristol, everyone says, is such a great track to go to, and I think I remember Dario saying that it was his favorite track that he went to in NASCAR, so just from a driver interest standpoint, I think it's fun to go to those kinds of places. But there's also, some anxiety about going to somewhere new. I'm mostly looking forward to going to the tracks that I've been to before.
Like Daytona. Best of luck to you the second time around, and thanks for stopping by.